Tell us what we know about the latest on this land, sea and air offensive, which the Israeli military says is going to get underway. Is there a sense that it's getting any closer? Is there any movement this morning?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to say though. They've cordoned off the whole area around Gaza. You can go and see the tanks going in and the armored personnel carriers. They're clearly preparing. They haven't told us exactly when the major ground offensive will start. I think the way it was put to me over the weekend was that, in some senses, it's already started. We know that they've been mounting these probing exercises into the Gaza Strip. There are certainly Israeli military within what was the fence, the border fence, which has been removed so that the army can get in when it does go in mass. We know that the other day, on Friday, they went in and retrieved some bodies, they said, of Israelis who had been taken hostage and killed. We don't know yet any details of that. That's a rather sort of mysterious statement they put out. As for when the massed weight of the army goes in, that is not clear yet. I mean, we're expecting it within the next few days, but I personally, I'm not expecting it today, but that's just supposition on, how I think they tend to operate in these situations. But I can't, say that for sure.
Yeah. We spoke a little bit earlier on to a spokesperson from the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, and he was very clear that the strike that happened on women and children and civilians who were using an Israeli designated safe corridor yesterday to leave the north of Gaza to go to the south, as they were told to by the Israelis. He denied that an Israeli airstrike hit that lorry and that convoy, killing them. He was very clear. He felt it was Hamas. He was pointing the finger at them, although he didn't have any evidence. It's very difficult to know who's to blame in this situation, isn't it, when both sides are saying something very different?
Yeah, and when most of the witnesses are dead or seriously injured as well. Yeah, it's very murky. Everyone in the vicinity says it was hit by an airstrike. In case any of your readers watched Twitter, there is a video of what appears to be an explosion on that road, which clearly isn't an airstrike. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are saying, maybe Hamas set off a car bomb or something. But I think, my preliminary assessment is that is from a totally different incident in a different place. So shouldn't be confused with this incredible loss of life in this incident where the alleged airstrike happened. Airstrikes like that have been denied before and turned out to be true. So, I wasn't there. I'm not going to give a definitive answer, but there certainly does seem to have been a terrible loss of life there.
Absolutely. And can you clear up some of these reports which are coming from Israeli military that Hamas is blocking civilians from leaving the northern part of Gaza? Some reports suggesting that they had parked military vehicles across the road or lorries across the road to prevent people leaving. Do we know if that's true?
I don't think that's true as a whole, if you know what I mean. I don't think there is an organised attempt to stop all these hundreds of thousands of people fleeing. We know that people are fleeing. We know that people are getting to Khan Yunis, the town right to the southern end of the Strip, and that there are a lot of people now gathered at the on the border with Egypt at the southern end of the Strip. There may be individual instances where local guys are saying you have to stay put, you have to, otherwise you'll never get your homes back. This is the big fear, that people will evacuate and then Israel will occupy and then they'll never be allowed to return, because that's happened obviously at previous episodes in the history of this conflict since the founding of Israel in 1948. So there may be sporadic incidents of this nature. I don't think that it's total, though.
The UN relief agency, UNRWA, has spoken, saying that Gaza is being pushed into an abyss. There's a tragedy unfolding as the world is watching This Is Gaza. What are the chances of humanitarian corridors being opened up? I mean, we know that some foreign nationals who are inside Gaza or people with dual citizenship are being told to go to the crossing with Egypt, which, as we understand at the moment, is still closed. We also know that there are aid trucks trying to come into Gaza from there and can't get in. Is there a sense that might open up? Because we're hearing that, we heard before the very desperate situation in Gaza with a lack of food, fuel, water and medical supplies.
Yeah, so there are sort of negotiations going on with a number of interested countries. Obviously, Egypt is at the centre of these discussions. What can and will it do? And there is, the Americans are involved with those talks. Tony Blinken, the American Secretary of State, is in the region, and I believe he is talking to the Egyptians probably pretty much as we speak. The Qataris, who fund a lot of civilian services in Gaza, are involved. Israel itself is involved. The Egyptians have been asked to allow Palestinians out. That's what Israel wants. Israel wants the Palestinian civilians to go to Egypt. Egypt is saying we're not going to become yet another venue for Palestinian refugee camps for Palestinians who will never be allowed to return by Israel. So they've said no to that. There is the possibility they want to send aid in, but Israel is not guaranteeing the security of that aid. Israel has said that it won't allow any aid in until the hostages are released. The Americans have asked that that foreign nationals in Gaza be allowed safe access through that border point to Egypt. The current suggestion has not been confirmed, I think, yet, is that Egypt is saying that they will allow those people out of Gaza and into Egypt if there is safe passage for aid to go into Gaza from their side. So that's the current standoff, if you like. It's a standoff, if you like, with two layers. In terms of basic functioning of things like hospitals, they need fuel for the generators, and they need basic medical supplies to go in from Egypt.